Love 15.
Both players have lost just the one set coming into this stage of the tournament. Badosa to Marta Kostyuk. Sabalenka on what was a very windy evening, wasn't it, against Pavlyuchenkova. That was uncomfortable at times.
It was, yeah. We called that match together, Nick, and Pavlyuchenkova really showed how you can hurt Sabalenka. She was on the baseline, defended it like her life depended on it, took the balls very early.
Yeah, I think the big question for me is whether Paula Badosa is willing to do that tonight, because it was such a clear game plan from Pavlyuchenkova, but it's not Paula Badosa's natural style of play. If anything, she can retreat too far back behind the baseline at times and tries to play almost too slow.
What a high-quality point that was from both players.
And when you see that, you wonder why Badosa doesn't play further up, because she can do it. She's so athletic. The backhand, by far her better side, but she unleashes into that shot.
Had
to make some adjustments to that serve motion, didn't she, due to the stress fracture in the back. Needed a bit of modification to take a bit of pressure off it. That serve is already under pressure here.
Yeah, it will be big. The first serve will be so important to get a good percentage into the court. We all know Sabalenka is the best player when it comes to the first shot +1, whether that is serve +1 or return +1, particularly on those second serves. And this neutralizes it, just hitting aces.
Yeah, that's a nice way to problem solve.
A nice way.
Yeah, her serve actually has held up very nicely this week. They've been broken a handful of times. Kostyuk was able to do it more than most.
First game.
And that matchup against Marta Kostyuk was an incredibly blustery day. It was terrible conditions for both players, and Paula Badosa has such a high ball toss that sometimes on a tricky situation with the wind, it can get too far in front, and it's also quite high at times.
Absolutely.
So Laura, what do you think? Do you think Paula has to force herself to try and pull off the Pavlyuchenkova game and be on the line and be very aggressive? Do you think she should just stick with her game first and see what happens?
Oh, it's tough. I think in this situation, you probably just want to play your own game style for the first few games at least, and see how that goes. And try and find the rhythm of the match a bit more. And you can always adjust. It wasn't like Pavlyuchenkova started the match on the baseline and she changed things up as it happened.
Just saw something. Sorry, Laura.
Well, I was just going to say, having said that, that's the furthest up the court that we've seen Badosa play her second serve return all week.
Yeah, interesting numbers we just saw in terms of serve points won, because Badosa are actually up 5%. And you look at the amount of time Sabalenka's been broken here over the last couple of seasons. This year's been a slightly different story. Lost serve 14 times so far here. Last year, the entire tournament, she lost serve 6 times. Can we explain that, or?
We've been trying to. It's very difficult because I looked at all the numbers. They are not significantly different. She's serving a bit slower, but 3-4 kilometers per hour slower, not a crazy amount. So the numbers don't really tell the story. From my feeling, there is some kind of doubt has crept in those service games. She doesn't quite believe that she can defend her serve under all circumstances anymore. But this is the other part of the story. She has made up for it by breaking more than ever. So this is the thing that we talk about when we say she's finding solutions. And this game tells the story quite well. There are 2 easy forehand misses after the serve, and usually Sabalenka is the best in the first shot +1. And this goes very far out, lifts up out of the ball.
So we were doing some ball 6 analysis this morning, and the Sabalenka ball toss is about 22 centimeters higher on average than it was last year at this tournament.
Well, and these high ball tosses are not generally a bad thing if you think of somebody like Steffi Graf, who had one of the best serves in the world with a very high ball toss, but they leave a lot of margin for error when wind comes into play, sun, difficult conditions.
Yeah, 6 unforced errors in the opening couple of games from the defending champion. It's been a little untidy. It's the extensive team that she carries with her. When you look through the head-to-head, Sabalenka's actually won the last 5 meetings, but if you strip it down to a hard court, Badosa has actually won 2 of the 3 they've played. And the fact, Andrea, that these two have practiced together countless hours, in a lot of time in the Middle East in the preseason, would enable, you'd think, Badosa to be able to just read the play a bit more than maybe some others who might be a little more surprised.
And I do think, even more importantly, I think that it takes the edge of intimidation out. And Aryna Sabalenka is an intimidating player with her power, her aura. She has a lot of presence on the court. You can sense that she is there at all times. And if she's your friend, just a little bit less intimidating, I think.
40-15.
Jumped on that one well.
40-13.
Yeah, brilliant core stability on the stretch here by Sabalenka. Enables her to play this fierce return. Makes it a bit more complicated for Paula here to hold.
Talked about how she really had to problem solve a couple of nights ago in the win over Pavlyuchenkova. Was down in that third set, of course. Stayed calm, found a way to secure the victory in the end. Wasn't the prettiest tennis match you're ever going to see, but it was a day for just finding a way, and Sabalenka was able to do that. What a forehand that was. Didn't look as though she was going to be able to turn defense into attack, but she did just that.
And I'm loving it already. Two fierce competitors facing each other here. And it doesn't matter that they are good friends off the court, on the court. All that counts is winning the next point.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
That's the kind of ball toss that I feel like she should just catch and restart, though, because from the side of the court, if she'd let that bounce, it would have been 1.5 meters inside the baseline. So she's chasing after it.
A little slip from Sabalenka, who's looking down at the court. Just couldn't quite get the elevation on the lob here.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
And again with the toss, you can see it from the side so clearly, less so from where Sabalenka is because you're down the other end of the court, but you can only really hit one serve when it's that far in front. You're chasing after it, you're limited to the slice. You might be able to flatten it out slightly, but you definitely can't kick.
Game Sabalenka.
A return of purpose.
Badosa leads 2
A
games.
return that had a fair bit of purchase to it as well. Great pressure and great length as well from Badosa from the back already.
Love 15.
The depth she's keeping here.
Yeah, handled this one particularly well. That is a tough shot to pull off. Now this is the Aryna Sabalenka that we know, the champion of the Australian Open, that is the #1 in the world.
15 all.
Big setup serve, then goes for the first shot, and you cannot get out of it any longer. This is when she plays her best.
I just felt a few raindrops.
Ooh.
We're English, we know when it's raining. Pepco. Well controlled.
30-15.
Playing her 10th major semi-final tonight is Sabalenka. Actually lost 4 of her first 5 before really turning it around in the last couple of seasons, as we know.
Oh.
Was that for a second delivery?
13.
It's a fairly amped Aryna Sabalenka, isn't it, out here? She's animated.
2 games all.
She's back level.
Yeah, she's bringing all the energy required to beat a very well-playing Paula Badosa today. And I do think this game, this service game, was a lot better by Aryna. I do think it's this first shot after the serve. If she can clean that up, that's the Aryna Sabalenka that wins Grand Slams. If she has too many unforced errors on those, it becomes complicated.
15 love.
Turning point in many ways was Washington, D.C., wasn't it, last summer for Paula Badosa? Yes, things were trending in the right direction, but of course the win that week was such a major boost for her. Of course, had a decision to make whether she used her protected ranking for the Olympics, which was the same week as D.C., or the US Open. Decided to use it for the US Open, skipped the Olympics, and went on to win in the American capital.
Fifteen more. Having
to defend the second serve a lot right now. She's only made 10 of 23 first serves early on here.
Yeah, I tried to play this one a bit safer. Took some pace off this first serve. But Aryna Sabalenka all over it. That's well played. And Laura, can you see anything in particular outside the ball toss that is going wrong with Paula Badosa's serve right now?
I think it's more that she's not quite sure where to place it. So she's going for the big first serve, but because the ball toss is getting in front, she's limited to the flat or the slice. And so you're taking away the kick and yeah, just maybe gets a little more readable for Sabalenka on the return. Because in this situation, you're taking away the highest percentage shot, aren't you, if you're taking away the kick?
Got a little fortunate, I think, with the penultimate forehand, didn't she? It wasn't middled, but it was effective.
It was effective, but I love the one that she hit before that. That backhand slice short into the court. We see the dot over there on the service line, dragging Paula Badosa into the court and then sending her back out. So she's really using the entire geometry off the court here, Aryna Sabalenka. I think that she has implemented in the off-season that short slice.
Timely first ace. And the lady that was born in New York, of course.
Advantage, Badosa.
purchase on that second serve and ended up just rushing Sabalenka on 61 Ks.
Deuce.
Such a high level of tennis. Had to reset the point completely. But did well.
No advantage.
Brilliant patience by Paula Badosa. There was some incredible defending from Aryna Sabalenka. I'm sure Paula thought the point was over long before, but did well in staying in the rally, just making the court bigger and bigger until it was big enough.
Deuce.
It certainly feels from down here that this is the most aggressive we've seen Badosa play all tournament. She recognised almost at the end of the first set against Coco Gauff that she had to start hitting it bigger. It was about a 9K increase on her forehand side. I think she started this match even faster than that.
Maybe just thinking that was going to drift wide. She's played 33 points on serve already as Badosa. Not even 3 games. It's been a lot of industry required for the Spaniard.
Deuce.
Yeah, and just for comparison, Sabalenka's played 11 points on serve so far. And I appreciate it's a game fewer. And this is hard graft.
No advantage, Sabalenka.
Just not able to hang on. And at 2-love, 40-love, it looked as though it might be the ideal start for Paula Badosa.
Use the slice more often today compared to the rest of the tournament. again the same, and it's so effectful because Paula can get quite far behind the baseline. You've watched her in this tournament, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's her default to kind of be about a meter and a half sometimes back behind the baseline. That's why her start hit was so impressive, because it was the complete opposite.
It's pretty much indefensible, isn't it?
And especially with Badosa's forehand side, the backhand, she really leans in and can close off and play a closed stance shot. But on the forehand, sometimes I feel like she lets it drop too much, plays an open stance, and that's when she falls too far back.
Love.
It's not just the pace, it's where it lands, and it was pretty much bang on the tee.
Game Sabalenka.
A little flat-footed off the return.
Sabalenka leads 4 games to 2.
She finds herself further behind in this opening set.
And it just feels like some of the intensity has dropped with the footwork from Badosa. She was so fired up when she came out here. We had a huge come on already in the first game of the match.
All.
One of the best juniors, of course, back in the day was Paula Badosa. The struggles she had coming into the senior game, she's talked about extensively. Didn't enjoy that transition. It wasn't a nice one, wasn't a comfortable one for her. At first, pressure, expectations of achieving what she did in juniors in the senior game was too much to handle. Took her a while to manage that. Certainly has been able to deal with it well in recent times.
And this is unplayable from Aryna Sabalenka, who is doing a terrific job today in moving Paula Badosa north to south. We know how well she defends and moves west to east, left to right. It's like all the defenses are up. You can barely get through her, but Sabalenka is making a point in moving Paula also front to back. And that's what's been hurting her. She's outside of her comfort zone, Paula Badosa here.
Yeah, the winner count 14-4 right now in favor of Sabalenka.
40-13. Deuce.
Use the pace. Still a very clean change of direction. Getting frustrated at the inability to find first serves right now.
Advantage, Badosa.
And Badosa showing her great athletic abilities right here. Normally, when we see something unforeseen happening, our upper body goes back before we go front. And Badosa has the core strength to just go straight forward. That's why she got to that unexpected net court.
Game Badosa.
I'll be delighted to have found a way through that service hold. Stops the bleeding here in the first of the ladies' semi-finals. Sabalenka, though, still remains ahead by a break. New balls. Sabalenka serving 4-3.
Love.
This time she did read that slight angle, didn't she? And was able to produce some quality in response. It's a big team she carries. Man back right there with the black hat. Doesn't get much attention. That's Shane Leonard. She does a lot of work on the data analytics side for Sabalenka. Been with her 5 years now as Shane. Aussie. So many of the players these days obviously look into the data. He does a lot of that for Aryna.
He got a bit shy there, seeing himself on the big screen. Yeah,
didn't fancy that, did he?
No. I will tell him that it was you who wanted it.
Well, the biggest difference for me now is that Paula Badosa's return position has dropped back again. You think at the beginning of the match she was inside the baseline for the second serve returns, and now just letting it drop all the way, and it just gives Sabalenka that time on the +1 shot. Andrea, you've been mentioning that's been the area that hasn't been quite so good, but she's just not under pressure at this moment in time.
40.
And it's such a good point that Laura is making, because maybe Paula has seen Sabalenka's earlier matches and is thinking, oh, I have to make a lot of returns because her +1 is not as good as it normally is. But here she has cleaned it up very nicely, Aryna Sabalenka. Just in the first game, we saw a few going astray, but seems to have found it nicely here.
Sabalenka leads 5 games to 3. Wait, please. Please find a seat quickly, thank you. First serve.
You can see the difference the new balls make, can't you, straight away when you hit your spot, especially after 40 minutes. Those 7 balls were in play a long time.
Beautiful serve there. Shows what she can do, and she gets it just right. 191 kilometers per hour. Wow.
Again, Badosa.
There's a service game out of keeping with what she has shown us so far, but it will be something of a relief. Just such a premium on length, isn't there, off the return against Sabalenka. Fraction short, and you are prone to be doing a fair bit of chasing.
No, she's really found some great rhythm on her serve here, and the +1, Aryna Sabalenka. And against her, there are 2 ways. Either you go the Pavlyuchenkova way, where you go all out and take that +1 shot away from her, or you have to be such a sublime defender that you can neutralize the +1 shot. And both of these are tough asks. I'm thinking of a Coco Gauff who sometimes troubles Aryna Sabalenka because she neutralizes the serve +1, the return +1, and Aryna gets impatient after a while.
Yeah.
But the worst you can do is be in between, where you give her a neutral ball after the serve, but then are not able to defend the next one. Yeah, she tried it there. Paula Badosa went way in, took the return early. Maybe something to try in the second set to turn this match possibly around if Aryna can serve it out.
2 set points for the 2-time defending champion. A very clean end to the set from Aryna Sabalenka. May have been broken early, but her serve thereafter was impenetrable. She leads 6-4. And if you want some optimism from Badosa's perspective, the good news is last season she was the player with the most comeback wins in 2024, level with Cain. 11 times last year. She recovered from a set down to win.
30-15.
Say it so often, but you do sort of think, suspect that that time out of the game gave her a very different perspective on the sport. It's such a common theme, isn't it? You see a player out for 6 months, maybe they took it for granted a bit before and come back just with a different attitude, a different approach.
(40-15).
You don't always know what you've got until it's gone.
Very true.
Game Badosa. First game, second set.
Impressive start to the second for the Spaniard.
Held their breath for a second until they saw the thumbs up.
Looked actually to be very uncomfortable, didn't it? Her foot just got stuck in. Let's have a look.
Oh, that was very smart. That was about to roll over the ankle, and she sort of almost threw herself. Well done. I mean, that was very smart. Novak actually did a similar thing the other day where he was about to roll his ankle and then sort of just let go and fell over. These are very good fallers, these two.
And we've been making comments about what the return should look like, but honestly, the first serve of Aryna Sabalenka looks so much cleaner since they closed the roof. Just the fact that there's no wind in here, the ball toss is exactly where she wants it to be.
The physical challenge of dealing with that ball, you could just see it's just so tough, isn't it? The force, the pressure that's coming her way. Too hot to handle.
Oh, it's brilliantly done. Well done by Paula, and well done by Aryna Sabalenka to fend it off. And Nick, you are so right. I had the questionable pleasure of playing Aryna Sabalenka once in an official match and many times in practice, and her shots are so heavy. It's not the speed that they come at you with, but you can be at the ball and you connect with the strings there in front of you, and the ball just continues to push you back. That's how much power it has. So you need to have your entire body weight behind those quick shots to be able to fend them off, and that's what makes it so complicated against Aryna Sabalenka.
And it really is a two-pronged attack, isn't it, as well? Because when you look at how effective the backhand has been on that particular rally and how often she's been able to step in, it's not really a hiding place, is there?
Not really. There is no such thing as a weaker shot against Aryna. And when you look at the numbers, you can see it. Every day is different. Sometimes she hits better forehand, sometimes better backhands.
Big pressure on the Spaniard serve once again here.
(30-14). Aryna Sabalenka.
Back-to-back doubles.
Sabalenka leads 2-1.
She has dug herself a hole here in the second because Sabalenka now up a set and a break. Exciting finish to the Australian Open in store.
(15).
Just actually look through the last 5 holes of Sabalenka. She's only lost 4 points in those 5 holes. So that is the conundrum here, isn't it? For Badosa, she's got to try and find a way to make an impact in her opponent's service games.
Yeah, you're so right. And unfortunately for Paula Badosa, who is not playing a bad match at all, it just seems so that Aryna Sabalenka has found her best tennis here at the semifinals. I thought she played really well against Mira Andreeva too. But this has been the cleanest performance. And Laura mentioned it, ever since the roof has been closed, she's looked very clean, very particularly Aryna Sabalenka tonight. And Paula will have watched all her matches, who were maybe not as dominant as last year, and would have hoped to get a few more freebies, but not so today.
(30-15).
Such a bold second serve, and Badosa just hadn't read it. Studying up on a player that has been around here in Melbourne at the sharp end of these events, may well be doing so again. You've got to love it. Expressing herself and playing, it would seem, with a huge degree of confidence right now.
3-1.
We saw her introduce this shot a lot during the start of the clay court season last year. Look at that in the difference count for the winners. Monumental.
Yeah, it seems like right now Paula Badosa is struggling to find a way to win points once the rally starts. She's very good when she hits her spots on the first serves. But if she wants to give herself the chance to turn this match around, she needs to find something extra in the baseline rallies. The winner count shows it all. She has not been quite able to find a strategy to push Aryna back.
And it looked like Badosa was looking towards her coaching camp for advice in between the first and second serves there.
Did so well, did the Spaniard. Was under the severest of pressure early on in the rally, but just did everything to cling on here. Just getting so little room to breathe out there, isn't she? From the back of the court, so little time to execute, dictate.
That
look kind of said it all, didn't it? It was, give me a break here, sort of thing. More importantly, she needs a hold.
advantage.
Yeah, that's a second serve out of desperation. A whole lot of risk. 160 kilometers per hour, slice out wide. You sometimes don't even get that on first serve when you're trying to hit that. And just shows you the amount of pressure she feels in those rallies, and she's trying to avoid them at all costs, even if it means hitting a double fault.
It's too good. It's Aryna Sabalenka playing at the top of her game here. And she is well on course for a third Australian Open final.
15 love.
I'm not sure I've seen her play better all tournament. You?
No, just against Mira Andreeva, she was very strong, but Mira wasn't good that day too. And so this is by far, I would agree, her best performance here. Oh, that is beautifully done by Paula Badosa. First time in a while she gets through in a regular baseline rally, and it's not just us, Nick, that feel like Sabalenka is playing the best match. She's definitely serving the best. Here we have it, 11 kilometers per hour, faster than she has all tournament long.
Yeah, only the second point she's lost on serve in this set.
Well, and if anything, she should light a candle in church and hope it rains on Saturday and the roof is closed, because when Aryna is serving this well, it's so hard to do anything against her. You're under so much pressure on your own serve in those baseline rallies.
Melbourne weather, you never know.
40-13.
Just didn't quite get down for that one. And a rare mistake of late.
Deuce.
She doesn't like it.
From 2-love down in the first set, she's just not really made any of these errors. Her footwork has been so sharp. I think that's what's so underrated about her game. To be able to hit the shots that she's playing this evening, you need to be in the right position.
This forehand cross-court that is three-quarter court, she's implemented that actually last year when she came here. She talked about this forehand cross-court, that she wanted a bit more angle on it, but she's made it such a safe shot. And it's just a regular rally shot and just happens to become a winner, and that is so valuable to have that in your repertoire.
What a brilliant hit that is. It was all or nothing from there. It keeps her in this game.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
Has been the favourite serve on that side once again this evening. That slider out wide. It's opened the court up for her.
job of getting straight to the Badosa forehand. Barely any of the first balls off her serve especially have gone to the backhand side, because she knows that's the strength, and yet makes it look so easy.
As has this lady this week. And despite the fact it looks as though this is going to be a defeat, there's a lot to take from it.
And this is also something she has adjusted, Aryna Sabalenka. If you remember her 3-4 years ago, with those shots that were just behind the net, she would still go 200 kilometers per hour. And now she waits, holds off a little, and just places it, and that has reduced her unforced error count. Oh, nicely done. Yeah, it's frustrating playing Aryna Sabalenka in this form.
That's how good it's got to be.
Yeah.
To an extent.
She didn't do many things wrong, Paula Badosa.
You certainly take those when they come along, because the second serve has been under scrutiny all evening. And you can understand that reaction, as the pressure has been relentless really for the last 45 minutes. Badosa doubles her tally in set 2. Looking for a 20th win in succession here in Melbourne, serving for a place in the final.
15 left.
Fearsome.
30 love.
It has elicited that sort of reaction from her opponent, who has, has not had an answer for it. Not many have on this court particularly. Just shy of an hour and a half. Sabalenka with a handful of match points. A devastating display from Aryna Sabalenka. Sees her into a third straight Australian Open final. A matchup between two very good friends. But this lady was in merciless mood.